She came through the door with her mother's wedding dress, and I think that was just such a special moment. I hadn't seen her since I was a little girl, first grade, second, and just hearing that voice, it just took me back to the nostalgia of her. So we still have that wedding dress in here, and it's from the 1940s.
We specialize in local, sustainable fashion and beauty, and we carry men's, women's, children's, formals, wedding gowns, accessories, something for everyone. Vintage is different because of the quality and the way that it's made. Also, it just has withheld time. Modern day is fast fashion. Even things that were made 20 years ago that were fast fashion are still even made better. I think one thing that really makes our store stand out is that 95% of our merchandise is locally sourced. So that means that it's giving back to the economy here, as well as we get to hear the stories from the people firsthand when they walk through the doors. So we source our pieces by appointments, or we go out to estate sales before the estate sale. So we get a lot of private calls to source our vintage. One time I was at a house and we went up to the attic and, they opened up a big old wardrobe and there was clothing in there from the 1930s. We go through the pieces and we pick out, what speaks to us and what we think will speak to the other clients. And then occasionally I'll go out sourcing with my mother. That's our thing. And she will also be a buyer for the store too. She is my go-to person when it comes to needing to talk things out business-wise. My voice of reason. Going on the hunt with her is fun. It's bonding time. My mother, once again, she loves a good challenge, so it's kind of a mission for her to get a stain out of things. With our jackets and coats like that, we'll sometimes take them to the dry cleaners. And then if we have big loads of clothing, we'll go to the laundromat. And it's kind of like a field trip when we do that because we're getting out and it's just fun to chat. We really take pride in trying to restore each and every piece. And when it comes to mending, I'll either mend like a button back on or, a seam. If it's a little bit more intricate, then we'll have one of our in-house seamstresses, Becky, kind of fix the zipper and that kind of stuff. We are trying to spread local, sustainable fashion and beauty. Keeping clothes out of the landfills, giving these pieces of clothing a second chance at life. I would say we've probably saved over 10,000 pieces, since we've been opened. So that just really is something that we're trying to spread a message towards. Sustainability is almost a $13 trillion business. So having that second hand, I think, is going to keep growing. Seeing the generation underneath me being more like conservative with their money and just really wanting to love that piece, not just getting it just to get it. So I hope that continues on, people just being more aware and more into the environment. So we do a lot of research when we're determining how much an outfit is worth. We go by trying to first factor in the decade as well as the tags. The tags help out quite a bit, determining the decade, if it's union made. You go from there. Then we do a lot of research online. Pieces that are a little bit like newer, they're gonna not be as much unless they're a rarity like Levi jeans. Those go for quite a bit. We also one time had a fur in here, and once we looked it up, and it was worth $12,000. So you just never know until you start doing the research. And then once we find a price point, we typically go down on the price point because of where we live in our region. So our client work is basically anyone who walks through the door, just first off, hi, how are you? A lot of people, they come in and they don't really know, so just really explaining what vintage is. So just having that one-on-one relationship and finding something particular for them that's gonna make their day, as well as their outfit, complete. Just the styling in itself, people are a little bit weary when it comes to, I see this on the hanger. What is it gonna look like on? Well, the magic is getting them into the fitting room to put it on. and they try it on, and it's released to the world for a second chance at life.